Thank you for clicking on our video. This is Taking on the Thames. So we are down for quite a late session on the Thames today, for the simple reason is we're back on one of the main stretches, and today I want to be able to fish a little bit further out into the river, more across that central channel there. So ideally we don't want to be doing that in the middle of the daytime, because number one, the fish aren't really going to be mooching about too much in the daytime, and number two, of course, being on one of the busy stretches of the Thames, you will suffer with boat traffic. But it's coming around now, probably dusk time, the witching hour I would say, so hopefully we'll nick a few silvers out before it gets dark, and then the anticipation for when it does get dark for that big boy rod to go tearing off. So no further ado, let's get this feeder filled up with our favourite bait of the Thames, maggots, and see what we can nick out of here today. I will say that for a summer's evening, it's not the warmest, and there is a bit of a chop today. And straight away on the feeder rod, I am going to be casting out a lot further than what I normally would be, because like I said, we here a bit later, so we can afford to get it out there into the deeper waters, and hopefully, like I explained earlier, that should be where the bigger fish are lying. It's hard to say really what to expect from a session like tonight. It looks like it's going to stay dry, so that's a bonus. And it's been pretty cloudy all day long, so hopefully the fish are a little bit more active than they normally would be. First chuck on any rod, whether it's maggots or anything else, usually takes a little bit of time, so I'm not worried just yet. And I'm sure this will be a sign of things to come, because in the evening, even though bigger fish do tend to mooch around a little bit more, of course the smaller fish have the opposite effect and tend to hide away a little bit more. So it might not be as fast and furious as it can be. I won't say that it is, because it not always is on the Thames, but it's not going to be, I doubt very much it'll be one a chuck, even on the maggots by the time it gets dark. I have got just about 5 foot in front of me loads of small fish just jumping about. When we arrived, there was actually someone feeding the ducks, so a lot of bread in the margins right now, and they're all just pecking at it off the surface. Look at this next hour or so, I imagine we haven't got much more than an hour of daylight left just to get warmed up really, and get some bait out there in the swim for this rod and the big boy rod. Going to be concentrating a bit more on the big boy rod tonight, in that with some pepperoni sausage on a hook link, and I've dropped down my hook size a bit. I usually fish here with a size 6, but today I've dropped it all the way down to a size 10, because I'm even looking for like a middle sized chub, just something bigger than what we usually get out on the maggots. Little twitch there on the maggots. I actually prefer it when it's not hectic constantly, so you're not getting bouncy bites on the drops and things like that, because it gets you a bit more prepared for a bite that's worth striking, if that makes sense. When you're bombarded non-stop as soon as the feeder hits the water and you're getting bouncy bites, sometimes it can be tricky to strike into the right one. And of course, not only that, but you've always got the possibility that whatever it is that's bouncing around on it is actually stripping your hook of maggots. Hopefully this wind doesn't get too much stronger. It is blowing right actually directly into my face. Now a lot of people will say the fish will follow the wind. So if it continues like this, and it does continue to be quiet throughout the night session, I'll be bringing that big boy rod in a little bit and maybe just fish off the edge of the plateau that I'm in. It's nothing big, but we're in. First fish of the day is a small chub. Okay, so a little juvenile chub. Right, let's chuck him back. Typical of the Thames, a chub that size. But that's not what we're after today. We want something a little bit more significant than that. But that's to be expected on this rod, that's for sure. Yoink it out there. Yeah. Again, I might, if this wind carries on, I might start bringing it in a bit closer. But for now, we'll see what we've got going on here. There's a little twitch there straight away. Right now it just seems, it doesn't seem to matter whether you're fishing in close or out in the middle. These juvenile fish are just literally all over the place. But we're in again here, I think. Probably the same thing again. Except this one's a bit smaller. We're going the wrong way, little dude. I want you to go bigger. Chuck him back. So, second little chubbling of the session. I wonder if this will die down as the light dies down, you know. The only thing that concerns me about doing a night time session with maggots and luncheon meat is the presence of eels, you know. I am not a big fan, but no hesitation, no messing about. Let's get this back out there amongst them silvers. Again, it's just on the edge of the slope as it slopes down into the main rut of the river. Quite busy on the bites already. Had one on the drop that kind of took me by surprise there. Not convinced. There might be something, but if there is, it's worse than what we've just had. No. But maggot feeder is empty and the maggots are stripped. So still chucking out a feeder full of maggots on the chuck, because obviously we've only just started, so we want to get the swim built up. Hopefully that will keep them in there for as long as possible. But let's see what else you've got to offer, and I'll tell you what, it is starting to get a little bit on the nippy side. Back out, there we go. I'll make sure this time, because after that last cast there was one on the drop. I feel like I'm snagged up on something there, but I'm not. Keep my hand on the drop just in case. Yeah, here we go again already, straight away. Very juvenile bite though. There's probably one maggot gone already. Again, not convinced. No, nothing. Check these maggots. They're actually quite fine. I'm going to launch it straight back out there. Hopefully there's still maggots from the previous cast. Again, not convinced. Worth bringing in though, because the old maggots are stripped. Quite surprised on how fast that light is dying down. I think it's also because there's cloud rolling in, so I'm going to go 3 maggots this time. Hopefully that will produce something a little bit more substantial. Get this feeder filled up. Still quite a few people actually on the river, canoes and things like that, but it's not going to be anywhere near as bad as it is when it's in the middle of the daytime. Should have chucked that a bit better than that really. We're in there. We've even got the perch here. Is this a perch? We are into a perch. What do you think he's done? He's gone and spoiled it. Nice little green stripy perch there. Be lovely if we smash into a few bigger ones of them, but we chuck him straight back so he can go and tell the rest of his family where we are. Ideally, his great granddad. Got some monster in the bush. But that was the 3 maggots, so not going to mess about. Straight back on them 3 maggots, because I'll be happy smashing into perch all night, especially if we could even get one so much as double the size of that. I'd be quite happy, to be honest with you. One thing I will say about the Thames is, although getting the bigger fish seems to be quite difficult, for me anyway at least, the fish that you do get out of it, they're all in pretty good condition. So no messing about. Rake that back out. A little bit tough in that wind, to be honest with you. It's not taking it exactly where I want it to go. It's sort of getting past the trees and then going where it wants, because the wind's just taking it, you know. Still getting bites on this drop though. The trouble with these bites on the drop is it's quite hard to strike into it. I'm not convinced. Yeah, nothing. But everything is stripped out. Quite fast paced for the fact that we ain't been here long, you know. I'm gonna stick 3 back on, I think. Feeder full of maggots, 3 on the hook, all white, no red today. That could be a little bit, probably the furthest cast we've done today. Keep my hand on it again because of them bloody bites on the drop. And yep, twitches again, just as I'm trying to tighten up to it. So I won't get too relaxed yet. I'll tell you something though, the old jumper might have to go on in a minute. It's a little bit nipple-tastic out here tonight. Had a couple of goes on the drop there, but nothing else for now. Maybe the maggots have been stripped. No, they have not. I wish I was more ready for that one. That was a proper rod bender. I am going to have to stick a starlight on the end of this rod at some point. It's just going to be knowing when it's going to be. The eyes ain't as good as they used to be when I was 30, that's for sure. Might have to bring this in and check my bait because we've had a few knocky bites on the drop and quite a big bend just now. Still a little twitch there, don't mind. And again, could be something on here. I don't think there is though. No. Nothing. Still good signs though. We're still getting the bites on the drop. We're still getting decent bites while it's actually sitting out there. All the signs are pointing to a busy evening. But as I've said before, I imagine that when it does get real black out here, the smaller stuff might disappear. Not me disgorger down there. I feel I'm going to need that today, tonight, whatever. Let's get this filled up. And this time, I'll make sure that I get a bit more ready for longer rather than sitting back so quick after the cast. About the same distance again, a lot further out than what I would usually fish. So I'm hoping that's where Daddy Perch lives. Got something, but this is small again. Real small. But it's different. It's a roach. Tiny, 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 tiny little roach. But so what's that? Chub, perch and roach. Be nice if we got a big green barbel and carp. Might actually have to set up my lights in a minute so I can start seeing what I'm doing. Of course, the guy did the right thing, didn't bring the head torch. 2 maggots this time. Just chucking it out there. Usually I would try and be a bit more careful when I'm placing it, but bites are coming thick and fast, so except I don't think I actually managed to hook that. I'm not going to put any feed in on this one. I'm not going to sit back just yet. Some twitchiness there, and again where I think we're in this time. I'm just waiting now for a big old pike to come and snatch one of these away. Another juvenile chub. Let's slip this guy back. The chub, even though that size, they give you about as much as a perch does in regards to a fight. You can definitely feel a chub of any size pulled back. They're quite spunky fish, man. That's why it'd be nice to get something a little bit bigger. Nice 4 or 5 pounder would be respectable. Just dragging the feeder back slightly on every cast, just to kind of distribute the maggots out the feeder a bit more. Some twitches there. Give me a little bit more than that, dude. Not convinced. I'll just drop that back down. That's the nice thing about when you're not fishing in so close to the bank, is if you do strike and feels like you missed it, you could always just settle it back down again, give it a couple of minutes, you know. Still people out on the boats this time of night. I think them first bites that I cast out probably stripped it. Either that or there's a fish still on there. No. Nothing. Nada. Zero. Zilch. Sod all. Give me it. Still 3 maggots on the hook. Well, I think it's probably time that I've got these lights set up and slipped a jumper on. Okay, light situation is sorted. Let's bring this in and chuck it back out because I had a couple of twitches there, but that was it, and then died down. The only trouble now is I've got these lights blasting in my eyeball. It's hard to see where the feeder is when it comes in. Let's go 3 maggots again. So we definitely guaranteed to catch an eel. So we've had a liner on the big boy rod, which I'll do these. Might have a couple more casts on this one, and then I'll stick some more ground bait out there, I think. Just check that rod, because it has got pepperami on it rather than pop-up, so there could be a chance that that could get taken off the hook a lot easier than a pop-up can anyway. I don't want it sitting out there all night with nothing on it. We definitely want it to at least give us a chance, you know what I mean? It's not going to give us a chance if it's sitting out there bare hooked, naked to the wind. Nothing on the drop this time. Definitely died down a bit now since the light's gone. Bit of a twitch there. It's probably quietened down by about 52.6%. The trouble I've got now is, because it is a little bit windy, and that isotope or starlight is sitting so high up, it's swaying about a bit in the wind. So it's making bite detection not the easiest thing in the world. What I might have to start doing is just dropping the rod down a little bit. We've got something going on there. There's a quack. I think we got something here. Jesus, how far away did I cast that? What have we got here? Oh, a bit of roach. Another one that swallowed it. Jesus. Behave yourself. There's a slightly better roach. So, since the night time, the roach sizes have definitely improved at least. Hands are slimy now. You're swimming in the wrong direction, brother. Go that way. So is that going to be a sign of things to come? Sizes increasing as the night goes on. Next minute you know, we got a 55-pound carp on the bank. Not going to happen, but it might. So 3 maggots. Stick the 3 on. Consistency is the key. Come here, feeder dude. Get off the bucket, come on. And start messing about now it's dark. Got health and safety issues to worry about. Raining down with maggots. Yoink! That seemed very skyward. No idea where it landed, so that's perfect. I think I launched it 55 metres up in the air and it landed 6 foot in front of me. I won't give it too long, because like I said earlier, I want to be trying to... The whole point of being out here of a night time is to make the most of being able to use the middle of the river without getting torn up by boats every 2 minutes. So if I don't get a bite pretty instantly, I'll just chuck that out again, I think. There is a bite, and that feels like a much better fish, to be honest with you. I might even need to net this. See what the score is when I get here. Yeah, looks like a better chub. So that's not a bad chub. Probably I'd give that a pound. Don't forget, these guys can get over to £8. But that is a very nice sign. They're slipping back. Again, you're going the wrong way, dude. You'll find your way. There he goes. Nice. Very happy with that. So you can see that they do look quite a lot different when they start turning from adulthood to, from juvenile to adulthood. They start getting a lot more golden in colour, bigger head, more like a bulldog, you know. The only concern I've got now, of course, is that is something that could typically take on the big boy rod, really. We've got the luncheon meat on there, we've got the pepperami sausage meat on there with a size 10 hook. A chub that size would easily grab hold of that. But quite happy with that chub. And I was literally saying, wasn't I, that I feel like I didn't cast that one out far enough, and I wasn't going to leave it very long. Just shows you, doesn't it? Like I was saying earlier, with the wind that was blowing in our face, could actually bring in the fish a bit shallower than was expected anyway, you know. So as much as I wanted to make the most of being able to really launch it out there, it seems like we're not going to have to worry about that as much as we first thought. Of course, a fish that size, when they're fishing with hooks to nylon, you know, I can't risk just lifting it out of the water with nothing but the rod, because it's really thin hook length on there. It's only like £4 hook link. And once the fish is out of the water, it's certainly a lot heavier than when it's in the water. So it's best just to get him in the landing net, which I'll replace again. I'll have this cast, and I will be chucking out that big boy rod. Chuck some ground bait out there. What I might actually do is try and remould one of them balls around the lead. Got another twitch on there. Not as convincing as the last bite, that's for sure. What we don't want, of course, now that time's getting on a bit, is for these fish to all disappear. Not convinced at all. Or maybe it's just not a decent size. But no, I don't think I've got anything. Okay, well, never mind. I think what I'll do is I'll sort out this big boy rod, which will involve me doing a little bit of wading out in the darkness. Okay, big boy rod is reset. I've waded out there, chucked out another 4 balls of the ground bait, replace my sausage. I brought it in a little bit from where I had it in the first place. I didn't go mad on baiting up when I got here. Only chucked a couple of balls of ground bait out there. So, I mean, just with having that slightly bigger chub, you know, not very far out, just made sense to kind of bring it in a little bit, you know. The thing is, when you're fishing on a lake and whatever, fishing all the margins and that makes sense, but when you're fishing a big river like this, sometimes trees and your usual snags and that don't become so much as a feature. You've got to try and find the underwater features more, which makes sense to like fish the edge of where it starts sloping down into the rut. Because like I said, all rivers have got like that deep channel in them, just naturally with the way that the water flows. And quite often, like I said, you find the bigger fish out in them deeper waters. But of course, we have got that wind blowing in front of my face, so that could also be blowing the fish towards us. Just because you get one semi-decent fish don't mean that that's the way it's going to play out all night. I had a little twitch there. Wind is definitely picking up tonight. It's blowing me gear all over the place. Another twitch there. We don't want them twitches no more. We want a half decent bend, please. This wind. Starting to play havoc now on knowing if I'm getting a bite on here. Even the old bite alarm just had a trickle. Calm down now. Easy, tiger. It's been a while now since the last twitches. Oh, and again, as soon as I take my hands away, it's every time, isn't it? As soon as you take your hand away, Mark, stay there, poised, ready like a heron, like the fishing king of the river, steady like a rock. Might have to bring this in a minute and make sure we ain't been stripped, because we've had quite a few of those common twitchy bites. This wind. No. Stripped. I think I'll try to strike into the next twitchy bite that we get like that. Could also play a part in the reason why, you know, I've had a few fish now that have swallowed the bait, because that's a fish. Nothing on it. Well, that's quite an encouraging sign. Felt like that did that with a bit more conviction. Should maybe not have struck into it so quick. So I think I'll just put some fresh sausage on this. Fresh sausage. This is just simple halibut pellet mixed in with some luncheon meat. It's been soaked. We'll kind of try and make it a little bit aerodynamic to help with the aid of casting. So we've got that on there. It's like a pack rig, Americans would call it. They use this quite often. So let's wazz that back out there, because that was quite a promising bite. At some point I will fish this until sunrise, but I don't think that will be tonight. It depends. I mean, if I get a big old barbel, it'll be hard to leave. Things are slowing down a bit as he says that. He gets a twitch on the go. It's been at least, well, 40 minutes since we had that bite on the big boy rod. Not really getting much action on the feeder rod, but it's always worth coming out here over night time, even if you know you can't get out here when it's light. As long as you can see what you're doing and you've got a head torch or whatever, because I would say you have definitely got more of a chance of catching something half decent of a night than you have when it's in the daytime. You know what I mean? Especially on the main stretch, at least, because you know, boats and that. So definitely we'll be doing another night down here. You shouldn't play with your food, dude. Just eat it. Don't want them little twitches, man. Give me something to strike. No, not convinced. Well, to be fair, it hasn't been a bad session. It hasn't been an amazing session. But it did pretty much what I expected it to do, you know. It was quite fast and furious at the beginning with some juvenile chub and a couple of, what, small roach did we have, I think, and a perch. And then it got darker. We managed to get that better chub, which was a nice fish. And we had a run on the big time rod, or the big boy rod rather. So I think I'll definitely be back down here for a nighttime session to see if we can't hit into a bigger chub or maybe a barbel down here. Of course, there's always chance of a carp and bigger perch. It'd be nice to get a much bigger perch. So until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment all you wish. But until then, I'm Mark Payne. This has been Taken on the Thames, and I will see you later.